Well, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Real Men Being Men. Welcome to another episode of Real Men Being Men. We got the heavy hitters on tonight. We got the heavy hitters in the house, and I'm gonna tell you something. We got four topics. It's called Four Square Conversation. This is Real Men Being Men. Four Square Conversation. Sometime we get to all four of the topics. Sometime we don't. But we're going to do the best that we can to make it to each one of these topics tonight. Before I go a little further, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I'm just a question asker. I ain't important, man. I'm just a question asker. My name is Raheem out of Decatur, Georgia, right outside of Atlanta. I'm going to go around right now, give everybody an opportunity to introduce themselves. We're going to start to my right, left, whatever it is, turn around, jump up and down. Rodney, tell everybody who you are, brother.
Rodney Smith, hailing from Decatur, Georgia, by way of Stamford, Connecticut.
Good deal, good deal. And look here, we got two Dons, a Don and a Donald. So we're gonna refer to one of them as the Elder. He's right there below me, right there. Elder, tell everybody who you are, where you're hailing from.
Good evening, everybody. This is Don Sherrell. I'm from Texas, from Kilgore, Texas, and I live in Atlanta.
Good deal, good deal. And to his right, left, which depending on which way you're holding your head, this is Toussaint. Toussaint. Tell everybody, yeah, exactly. Tell everybody who you are, brother, and where you're hailing from.
Hey, my name is Donald Toussaint. I'm from Opelousas, Louisiana. I live in Pascagoula, Mississippi.
Good Lord, good Lord. Man, that's a lot of letters, damn. Now, hold on. Where your church at, brother?
Pearlington, Mississippi.
All the letters of the alphabet. They give you all the letters of the alphabet right there. We gonna keep this thing going. We're gonna keep this thing going. Like I said, what we got four square conversation, and I'm hyena happy, elephant a lady, and porcupine proud to have each and every one of these gentlemen that's with us. We got some more people that's coming as well. This is Real Men Being Men. We're here every Tuesday from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on DK and Media Group and Associates. Now, let me go to Toussaint. Toussaint, I'm gonna start this thing off with you, brother. And I'm gonna ask you this question. Yeah, we're gonna start off with you. We're gonna let you lay the foundation. Do we, as a society, and we talked a little bit about this morning. Do we, as a society, do we glamorize? Do we glamorize violence?
We love it. We pay good money for it.
Mm,
I mean, and I say we. I'm talking. You said the society,
yeah, yeah.
not everybody, but for the most part. I mean, it's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, I was going to point to our sports, but we don't want to say that's violent, but it can get ugly. I tell you that much.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
But let something happen.
Mm-hmm.
We'll play it over and over and over and over again, and then once we play it over and over again, we go back and look at it another time to make sure that's what we see. Made me think about the tragic 9/11, for instance. Um, that scene was hurt to the family, but who really thought about it when we was watching it
Mm-hmm.
collide over and over and over again? And now we make it an annual day that we just watch it again.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just me, man. I believe that we do. We glamorize. We make it a hey.
Mm-hmm.
You see something in the street, the George Floyd, and we form a group of supporters just to make our point off of that. That's just
Mm-hmm.
me. That's just me.
Good deal. Good deal. Let me go to Elder. Elder, I'm ask you the same question. Do we, as a society, not certainly not us on this platform right here, but as a whole, as a society, um, do we glamorize violence? Because there's been a lot of violence that's been going on. Elder, talk to me. What's on your heart concerning that?
Yeah, I agree. I think we do glamorize violence, and we make violence very accessible. And it's like we always want to get to something where it's bad. We want
Mm-hmm.
to see guts and
Wow.
eyes out and all kind of crude stuff and people going wild and mad. Like they show all this footage on about the airplanes on the airplanes, where somebody
Mm-hmm.
goes crazy and starts hitting people, and we really uh, don't like to hear about it in one sense, but we like to see it in the other sense. There's something about us that makes us want to see it, and our country definitely plays on it because we play on entertainment. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the games that the kids have is so wrought with violence. We were looking at the thing about the young man who, UVA killed the other three
Yeah.
players,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody made a comment about how it's not like the video game. You take a life away, and you can get another life, but
Mm-hmm.
that life is gone. But we do glamorize it in many many ways.
Wow. Wow. And wow, that's a sad statement, but at the same time that's a very sad reality, because I too agree that to a certain degree we do glamorize violence. Let me go to Rodney. What do you say to that, brother? Do we as a society, do we glamorize violence?
Toussaint hit a point. In Atlanta, you drive around 285, the perimeter. There could be an accident on the other side of the highway going the opposite direction.
Mm-hmm.
The direction you're going in, people are stopping and gawking at, looking for a gory scene.
Mm-hmm.
My background as a chef, Americans have two palates on their tongue. They have salt and they have sugar. Right now, the media is serving us sex and violence. Those are the
Mm-hmm.
two elements that sell. And unfortunately, everybody says they're not interested in that. But every TV commercial, you see a woman half dressed, or you see a violent person doing some violent action, and we say we don't approve of it, but we don't turn our channels either.
Mm-hmm.
So subconsciously, actually the country was based on violence. If you ever
Yeah.
understand the origin of this country, it was about violence.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And
Yep.
and we have that violent nature. We have the quid and we have the back and forth, the
Mm-hmm.
battling, and unfortunately, the lowest element is what sells.
Mm-hmm.
Sex, violence, and all the other stuff. That's what sells. And
Mm-hmm.
it's easy for us to go to the most basic common denominator, which is
Yeah.
violence and sex.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that's part of our nature, and our spiritual side of us tells us that we have to battle that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's out
Exactly.
there. That's what's out there, and we have to constantly train ourselves to turn away or to look to the higher plane.
Mm-hmm.
But it's out there.
Absolutely. It's definitely out there. It's definitely out there, man. And it's right. It's pretty much in your face. It's pretty much in your face, man. The way that they do these different things. Let me go and let me say something. Curtis, brother, good to see you, brother. Good to have you, man. If you got an opportunity, give us a call, man. This is Real Men Being Men, and you know how we do it here, man. So if you got a moment, Curtis, give us a call. But let me go to the phone line. Badger, what do you say to that? And good evening, Badger. How you doing? We're asking, do we as a society, do we glamorize violence? Do we glamorize violence? What do you say to that?
Well, one of the most common phrases of today is "it's a dog eat dog world."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a really common phrase.
Yeah.
You know, there's so much of that mentality that people seem to have developed a thought process outside of community.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know, what happened to the days of us, having a potluck in the middle of the street?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I know it happens in some places, but it's not near as common as it used to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nowadays, you're kind of taught you have to look after yourself and you can't trust nobody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Wow.
then, music's turned into some very questionable things.
Mm-hmm.
Kid TV shows have gotten more violent,
Mm-hmm.
and so on and so on. It's survival of the fittest is what it feels like.
Wow.
Like, that's why, I made a comment. Intelligence doesn't matter much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
People are more focused on who's the big bad wolf
Mm-hmm. Wow.
and how can they get ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And if that takes violence to do it, they're going to do it, be it through mental manipulation, physical manipulation, whatever they can to succeed.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And it's an unfortunate side effect.
Mm-hmm. It is 508-924-3521 508-924-3521. You're listening to and you're watching Real Men Being Men. Like I said, we're here every Tuesday from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on DKM Media Group and Associates. Let me go to Mr. Hicks. Mr. Hicks, good evening, sir. How you doing this evening? Mr. Hicks, like he's shocked. Mr. Hicks, like he was shocked for a second. I'm coming to you, brother. Mr. Hicks, I'm asking a question, and I want to hear your heart on this. Mr. Hicks, do we glamorize violence? What do you say to that?
We do.
Mm-hmm.
The culture around us, the world's around us, there's something almost like there's a part of us that's a dark part of us, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
As conscious as I try to be, right?
Yes.
I still watch fighting.
Mm-hmm.
I still watch the old boxers. I still watch the old fights. I still watch this new development of how they do martial arts now.
Watch this, Mr. Hicks. Now let me ask you this question, man. I'm throwing a monkey wrench in what you're saying right now, and I'm just curving it a little bit. But was Muhammad Ali the greatest man? Was he the greatest? See? Go ahead, brother. Go ahead with your thought. Finish your thought, brother. Don't pay me no attention.
No, you gotta figure. I was a junior in high school when Ali was making that fight.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta figure that I'm in a household. My mother's evangelist, a Christian evangelist.
Mm-hmm.
My father is a Nation of Islam renegade Muslim, right?
Yes, sir.
My mom hated Ali. She hated Ali simply because he went against the principles of how the Bible say you don't let anybody else beat you just praise you. Other people do that praises. Ali was brash and talking that yang, right?
Yes,
and Lord. I loved him. And I loved him, because I'm still coming from that era where coming down south. I remember the colored and white bathrooms and waterfowls, backdoor stuff. It was like, I say, here this brother, is he the greatest? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the ring too. He just went too long. Like Mosul, he fought too long.
He did.
It took those 3 years from him, but yeah, we. So I'll say, do we glorify violence?
Yeah.
I think that's that thing Paul talk about now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That talks about what Carl Jung talks about, the shadow stuff, the dark stuff. That's that stuff that came out in Nazi Germany and came out under Gulag Archipelago in Russia. That's that dark part inside of all of us. That's the part that we got a government basically that's supposed to have checks and bounds to check this part of the nature of any man that gets in power.
Yeah.
It's exactly. Like you get in power, and then that's that battle. And I'm saying for personal experience. I mean, one time I was a part of this thing, and I was holding the money for this little thing we were doing. Right, something came up. And I had to pay the rent. I let the rent go back. And I was young. I had three kids in diapers and Pampers running around and stuff. And I said, I got a check coming Friday. I'm going to take this money and pay this bill, and I'll give it back on Friday. The next day they asked me for it. They said, "What am I at, mama?"
See.
It's almost.
Hey, karma is something else. Hey, they come back and knock on that door. You better be able to answer. You better be able to answer.
That is the most embarrassing, and that's the whole thing about integrity and ethics and the value of having that standard. If I didn't have it in my life, I'd be lost.
Exactly.
Shoot for a standard to be better. Shoot for a standard not to tell no lie. Shoot for I missed the mark sometime, right?
Hey, look at I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. I'm valuing this moment right now, and the reason why Mr. Hicks don't like Mr. Hicks is talking right now. It's very rare that you're gonna get Mr. Hicks to talk that much, man. He's Mr. Hicks, he gonna say what he gonna say, and then he gonna go on he gonna go and sit back down and gonna wait that way. But Mr. Hicks on the roll right now. And so I'm valuing just listening to this brother talk, man. So we don't get that often on the morning glow and stuff like that, man. Mr. Hicks don't talk that much, man. And so he's sitting there talking. I'm blown away. I'm like, man, that
I'm
Mr.
gonna
Hicks.
pass the mic down there.
We're gonna let him call the money.
I'm gonna pass the mic.
No, hey, I appreciate I appreciated that, brother. I really did, man. And Tucson, he was over there just laughing because he know Mr. Hicks don't talk like that. And Tucson was just laughing. What Tucson laughing at? And then it hit me. I said, oh, that's Mr. Hicks.
That's Tucson right there. It looks like my uncle or something.
Oh, Lord.
That's Tucson. I got to believe it. That's Tucson. When the first time I heard your name, I remember when I was in 11th grade, I read about Toussaint Louverture and Dessalines in the Haitian Revolution. And I was studying that stuff, that name. I said, Toussaint. Boy, that's a powerful name.
See, look at I better get him to pass the mic. We're going to tell another story, y'all. I
got another one for you. When you get my age, you got a bunch of them.
Hey, Mr. Hicks, come on, man.
Got stories.
In Tucson, talk to. We got a few people on the phone line. Girl, to come to you on the phone line as well.
Man, look, I don't know. Look, wait a minute, Mr. Hicks. I just got to stop and wait. Is that a denim jacket you got on, or what, man? What is that?
It's a bathrobe.
How you gonna be sharp in the bedroom? Are you just sharp?
I'm not turning the heat on. We're not turning no heat on yet. Everybody in this house got to put on a coat and some socks. I'm old school. That's the way we did it. We turn the heat on when it get cold for real.
Lord,
don't bubble up.
Tucson, what you do that for, man? Talk, Tucson. You can't pull him back in, man.
All right. Hey, look, I thought about something though. Look, when you watch on kids videotaping fights.
Yes.
I mean, I gotta be careful how I say it because I just had an incident in my family, and I'm mad hot as heck. No, hot as I can be.
Okay. Okay. Well, y'all are something else.
I'm just saying because here's and I'll say it because maybe he'll listen. I got a grandson that just got into a little school thing. And when you get involved in violence at school, they pick you up.
Yeah.
But here's what bothers me. He's sitting there, and you're out there now, son. Oh, there you are. So you sit there with handcuffs and you smiling. That's not funny.
No.
You're heading somewhere and it's not good. But your question was,
do we glamorize violence?
We glamorize it. Here you are, a young man, don't know how to wipe your tail good.
Good Lord.
And you get in something that you should know. It's not going good. It's not going to go good. And they get you because of that, and you still grinning.
Yeah.
I'm confused. Now I'm confused.
Yeah.
That bothers me because I wanted to ask him, do I need to get some insurance on you?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because when we got into stuff, we didn't have school police. But see, nowadays, even though it seems humorous, they'll come back the next day and kill you.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
Put that on, they'll videotape that. And we everybody gonna want to see it. All the friends, they want to see it, and it's just this gleam that we just promote over and over and over and over again, and it just makes me think, brother. I mean, how many of us? I don't know, Mr. Hicks. Are we gonna reach 71 or 70, 60?
Yeah.
The way we headed. And we just excited about going nowhere.
Wow. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Cornelius, good evening, sir. How you doing this evening?
You know, a little somber. You know what's going on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Asking
Yeah.
asking the question, brother, and I want to hear your heart on this, man. As a whole, do we, as a society, let me say as a society, because I don't like to say as a whole, it's painted with such a big brush. I don't like that. Do we glamorize violence? What do you say to that?
Yes,
Wow.
yes, we do. And the reason being, I can think back even in my childhood coming up years ago. Like, for example, as much as we love football,
Mm-hmm.
remember they used to play jacked up.
Yeah.
You know, you used to always see that how you enjoy taking a person's head off,
Mm-hmm.
or hitting them as hard as you can.
Yes, sir.
That's violence.
Mm-hmm.
And now that we look at the league now, we call the league soft because guys are taking little extra steps and not really mean to try to hurt nobody, but they hit them and they call it unnecessary roughness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And some you can't even touch nobody no more.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But violence, even in that video game. When I seen that video game when it first came out, that was Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when that video first came out, man, I was like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
And kids were buying it off
Yeah.
the shelves, man.
Yeah.
That's glamorizing violence.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that we've seen in our society, even today, when you watch the news, you always see more things negative than you do see positive
Mm-hmm.
in the news media.
Yeah.
Always something is I don't want to say it's promoting, but it's actually is more focused on violence
Mm-hmm.
and anything that we see, and that's that. And at the end of the day, if you want to go spiritual with it, that's the natural side. But the spiritual side is because of the sin nature of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
When that was violent when Cain killed Abel.
Yeah.
That's violence.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That was the first murder.
Mm-hmm.
That's violence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so all this stuff that we look in society, yes, it's because of our sinful nature why we do these things, because we're taken to that. We and don't even realize it because it's within our nature, but we like it.
Yeah.
You know, and we thrive off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like what was the other one? Remember when Senator Kane was trying to get rid of MMA?
Yeah.
He wanted to get that, get rid of that, but they fought through it. Now MMA has taken over boxing.
Yes, sir. Yes,
It's
sir.
one of the most popular fight games in the world. It's glamorizing violence.
Mm-hmm.
All this stuff is out there. So this is our society as a makeup as a whole, but it just basically boils down to our sin nature. So yes, we are, to answer your question, yes, sir.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Rosalind, good evening, ma'am. How you doing?
Hello, Mr. Raheem. How are y'all doing?
Hey, doing good, sis. Doing good. Good to have you. Asking a question: Do we glamorize violence in this day and time? Do we glamorize violence? Do we look at it as something that's I love it and push it in that way? Do we glamorize violence?
My opinion, I think we do. Some
Mm-hmm.
of us do. As the Bible speaks, money is the root to all evil.
Mm-hmm.
So now, if you can capture violence like on video, you're getting paid for it.
Wow.
So of course it's gonna be, everybody is looking for something.
Mm-hmm.
Even with the young man that got killed, in Atlanta. I mean, not in Atlanta, but from Atlanta. Last week?
Mm-hmm.
The rapper.
Yes.
They videoed it and they went viral for capturing the video. So it's like a monetary gain now, and people are, I think they're enthused about it. But it's like a change of mindset. We gotta get. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but we gotta get to our youth and change their mindset. And
Yeah.
it's gonna be a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, it's like money is the root to all evil. So if I can capture something that's violent, and it can go viral and I can make money off of it, of course people are going to continue to glorify violence and, you know, make it known to the world that, hey, I got this video or whatever and I got money off. You know, it's just the devil's work. That's my opinion. It's just the devil's work.
Exactly. And somewhere I read where it says, what does it profit a man to gain the world but to lose his soul? What does it profit a man? Wow. Rico, good evening, sir. How are you doing this evening?
I can't complain. How y'all doing this evening, fellas?
Hey, doing good, doing good. Asking the question, Rico, do we glamorize this society that we live in? Do we glamorize violence? What do you say to that?
Yes, it's glamorized and glorified. You know, you see it with Rambo, Commando, Chuck Norris,
Tarzan.
You see it in you know, with wrestling.
Yeah.
You know, pretty much when you see NASCAR, they love to see the racers get out the car and fight each other.
Yeah, yeah.
See, we really and truly is more about excitement. I believe that's pretty much what is more glorified is excitement, because actually you can see two people having sex and somebody want to watch that and record it and make it go viral. You know, it ain't got to be a fight. It could be that horizontal mumbo jumbo, what you call. You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's just anything that's extreme and that's out of the ordinary. So I think, you know, society is addicted to extraordinary behavior. But now when you start talking about violence to a certain extent, that violence and that aggression being glorified and rewarded actually is part of victory. Like when you think about predator and prey, when a predator captures the prey and kills it, or when two lions clash with each other and they defeat the other lions and take over the pride, and then they destroy the cubs of those other lions, that's a sign of victory, domination, control. So, you know, in our minds, somehow we relate being victorious with being violent. And there's also the thrill of victory. See, it's a great feeling that comes with victory.
Yeah, yeah.
But sometimes for you to win, you have to dominate, or you have to beat the competition. So the competition that comes in gives you that thrill. And if you're not careful, you could get so addicted to that feeling and that thrill of always wanting to win or be the first one or the one on top, the HNIC. To the point where you end up start competing with everybody, and then you start getting violent because you want to make sure that you always got your way. So it's that thrill of victory, man. It's you know, most of these things that we go through is all for an emotional satisfaction.
Exactly.
Satisfaction, you know, so I think that thrill of victory, when you look at victory, you know, it's a lot of things that come with victory. You know, being able to eat, being able to survive, being able to get the money. You know, to have the control, to have the most, and that pushes that urge for competition. So yeah, you know, when you competing to be number one, sometimes you got to step on the competition, or you have to create competition.
Exactly.
So, you know, I think about how these action movies got rewarded. You know, how they made action figures of Rambo. You know, the Great White Hope. You get what I'm saying? I mean, to me, that was something that made them feel better. You know, I think the Birth of a Nation. You know, Jerry
Cooney was supposed to be the Great White Hope. Until who that knocked him out, man? Who that
Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes beat the brakes off of him. Jab that man to death.
Okay, let me keep this thing going, man. There's a lot. I see you right now. You got your hand up, brother. What's on your heart?
Yeah, when Rico kind of stole my thunder. Back in the 70s when I was in high school, you know, up in Connecticut, the boys used to play basketball from sun up to sundown. All right. And that was a way of building their ego. The most aggressive guy on the basketball court was the alpha male. And if you did not submit to him, he'd punch you in the face right on the basketball court. You know what I mean?
His name was Michael Jordan.
Huh?
His name was Michael Jordan.
Well, no, that was before Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan couldn't hang up there. But my point is, the alpha male would dominate. He would play basketball through intimidation. And like I said, if he didn't get the call he wanted, he would punch you in the face. Meanwhile, the girls are on the sidelines, you know, cheering the brothers on. You know what I mean? And at the end of the game, the guy who was the most obnoxious and the most aggressive was the one that got the girls and got their public adulation.
Mhm.
And so what I'm saying to you, the stuff that we're talking about now, these young kids, it's just a carry on from what we have gone through. Because just think about the society that we deal with. The alpha male, no matter what sector you're in right now, it's the guy who sticks his chest out, is the most dominant, and says, if you don't like what I say to you, I'm gonna take your head off. You know what I mean? And so it's prevalent through all aspects of society. Whether you're talking about clergy, business, you're talking about sports, that thread is through society as a whole, because most people will want to dominate through intimidation. Now, there's very, very few people, maybe 60% of people, are going to take it to the level of violence, but that's the ultimate goal, is to walk in the room and intimidate people. You've seen business people walk into a room and they command the room. They can command the room through orator, but they also command the room through intimidation and fear and violence, or the threat of violence. So my point is that this is a thread that no matter where you are in society, whether it's on your job, we all have people on our job that's a bully. You know what I mean? And they want to push you around. They want to do this and do that. And it's a form of intimidation. Now, will they take it to some people will take it to the level of violence and are willing to take it to that level. So again, this is built into society. It's built into our psyche. It's built in us as people. And I guarantee anybody right now says that I'm docile, I'm meek, I'll turn the other cheek. They ain't gonna last for so long. They're gonna get violent eventually. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my point is,
or they're gonna become that prey that we're talking about.
They're not gonna do that, because it's either fight or flight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so what I'm saying to you is that we all have that. We all have that side of us that, you know. I mean, let's face it. We all have that side, and we all try to intimidate people either verbally or physically or implications or whatever. That's a part of nature. Now, there's certain people that will take it to the next level, and you never knew who that person is. It's like that kid on a school bus. You know what I mean? Yeah. No one ever knew he would ever take it to that level. You know what I'm saying? He had in his mind, everybody's capable of being that kid on a school bus. Trust me.
Yeah, exactly.
In the right circumstance, anybody's capable.
It'll come out. Absolutely.
We have to fight that nature. You know what I mean?
Good deal. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We'd definitely love to have your input. Elder, what's on your heart?
Well, I was just listening to everybody and thinking about how, violence is part of who we are. And the Bible says that, to talk about people, their feet are swift to shed blood. Anytime that there's a fight, in the cafeteria, wherever, people run to it. And I was thinking, I'm going to go back to Brother Tucson. You said something earlier. I think you're talking about your grandson. And I was thinking about, with the kids, I really believe that a lot of them, they don't really want to be a part of that. But again, because it's glamorized, it makes them a little more popular, and if they can, I'm somebody now. That says, I'm somebody. And I haven't read any more about the incident on the school bus about motivation behind why this guy killed those other three guys. But for I was discussing with someone, and one of the things that came up in our conversation earlier is that you wonder, was there any bullying toward him, toward him in the situation? It looked like, because it could have been something like that. And so
the dad did come forward. The dad did come forward and say his son was bullied. That's what the dad said.
Yeah. He did say that. In fact, I remember him saying it yesterday. And so the bullying, and so violence then becomes a way to get back at people. It's revenge. These docile people who don't want to fight and do stuff, and let people run over them. They can take so much, and they get a gun or something. They're gonna go, take something out.
Exactly.
And I want to say one other thing. Besides, we talk about violence. I was talking about Jeffrey Dahmer, and how this network, I believe this network had this series, Jeffrey Dahmer, about 11 episodes, and I said, how could they do that? So what I thought I would do, I said, let me just see what's going on. Okay, I want to see. So I began looking at the first episode, and I had to stop. I couldn't go any further. I got to a point where I said, I don't want to see this. You see, and somebody said a few minutes ago, violence promotes. You kind of said it underneath what you said. Violence promotes more violence.
Yeah.
And so people see stuff and they want to do stuff. That's why the YouTube has messed us up a whole lot. I love YouTube. I look at a lot of good stuff on YouTube, but you can find out how to do anything. How to chop up your parents in little blocks. All that kind of crazy
Good Lord.
stuff.
Yeah, and
Yes,
see,
sir.
all technology ain't good technology. It's
That's
just
right,
it isn't, because like I said, if it's leading you down that dark road, maybe that's something you need to walk away from. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We'd definitely love to have your input. Badger, what's on your heart? Badger, you there?
I had to find the mute button.
Okay.
Not used to being on the phone.
Okay, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
I was sitting here listening and everything, and something I want to throw into the conversation is a really powerful word, and it's called choice. Or the word is choice. We have a choice to work on ourselves. We have a choice to react with violence or not. We have a choice to listen to the person being bullied. And with all this violence that's going around, a lot of times I feel like, I know you might not like this word, but a majority of people facilitate it. A person can get so wrapped up in themselves that they're not even, there to listen to someone. What's to say the kid that's walking up to you, that looks angry and everything else, all he needs is an ear, just a soundboard, And
can you see? Can you see, Badger,
to-
in this day and time? Can you see in this day and time where that could be dangerous?
Well, I guess my trust in Great Spirit's strong enough. I don't worry about that. If they're coming to me for help, that means they were sent.
Okay, that's the way you feel about it, brother.
So,
okay, go ahead.
I mean, but think about what you just said. How does that not facilitate more violence?
How does it? I'm telling you that you have to be careful, and you have to be real mindful about who the people that you're coming into, because there are some very violent people that live in our society. Now, if whoever's listening want to be that guinea pig or that goat and take a chance on being that quote unquote that savior, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. But know that there could be some repercussions that's going to come behind that. There could be a situation. I was looking at something. They just said something about Jeffrey Dahmer earlier, and Dr. Phil had something on there, and he was talking about one of the guys that Jeffrey Dahmer killed. Sister was on the show, and she was saying that he walked up to the guy and said, "Do you want to make some extra money?" But see, his intention wasn't for that guy to make any extra money. His intention was to go out there, rape the guy, and kill him. And so that's all I'm trying to tell you. There's a reality, man. There's very violent people that live in our society. Unfortunately, they are there. And so I'm just telling people not to try to help anybody, but at the same time, be mindful. Helping can sometimes be costly. Mr. Hicks, what's on your heart?
You can do it with your mind. Like, do it intelligently.
Badger. Okay, Badger. Okay, let's do it. Mr. Hicks, what's on your heart?
Well, a whole bunch right now. I was thinking, listen to what Tucson said, and I was thinking about, the suffering I caused on my mother. And visiting her oldest son in prison, had all high hopes for me. I grew up with the word.
Yes.
I recited a verse from the Bible by the age of 6 in front of churches. And here I was in this spot. I guess my word is that, and I think about my mother, whatever, and it was holiness. And I remember them beating the tamarines, jump around in the church, and that the rhythm of the drums and everything. And I would watch sometime where something would happen for real. The atmosphere would change.
Yes.
It wasn't a faith built off theology. It was something carried over from our old experience from Africa or either Native American. It was dancing around. It was saying the name of Jesus over and over and over until you see people would trigger, something would happen, and there would be a change. I guess, but my mother never gave up. So I know you won't either.
Absolutely.
She showed that love. I mean, she didn't believe me. She didn't beat me up. She understood me. She's my mother.
Yeah. Yeah.
She knew how I was damaged by watching my father fight her. She knew the anger that was in me from going back and forth down south. Because as a child, I would ask, why is this, mama? Why is this? Why we live down here, we poor, and all those big houses. And she would get angry at me sometime because when I get big, I'm going to fight him. We're going to take it and smack. But that's not the way. I guess my point is, so in my evolution and change and getting the foundation of the man, I had to go back to the first violence, the first murder. Because I think all the ingredients of that first murder, that first thing of violence is what we see now manifest in a large sense. And that is, there's a part that's inside of us that have this weakness. They say we fell, we got this inherent sin. You might say, some people say you're born like a blank book and then you start, but I know from my experiences that you can be possessed by a thought, possessed by ideology. And I think that when you work things over your mind over and over again, it taps into a larger energy around us. I mean, I grew up where they talk about demon possessions and Azazel naming the demons. And I just couldn't believe it because it was just too spooky for me. But when I was 9 years old, my best friend got burned up in a fire.
Wow.
And he was older than me. He's about 12 years old. And he used to preach to the church. They used to put a box up behind the pulpit so he could preach to the grown folks. I was stunned because they was listening to him. It's like, this little boy got this power. He's my best friend. He saw the goodness in me. I was a bad little boy. I didn't know why I was bad at that point, but I had been molested. But I didn't remember it. But it was that anger inside me.
Yes, sir.
But I stood at his casket when he got burned up in this fire. And the morticians, he was a black brother, dark skinned, beautiful black brother. But they had him powdered up and he didn't look like himself. I'm 9 years old. I'm looking over the casket and I rejected God. And I said it verbally. I don't want you. He loved you. I couldn't understand it. And at that point in my life, going back now, they could say, you could say I was traumatized. I had PTSD. I had personality disorder, but I was possessed. And I know that.
Wow. There's so many different layers. And as y'all can tell, man, we actually stand with this square right here a little longer. And we transitioned over to another square so we can talk a little more in depth. Excuse me. About this square. Tucson, what's on your heart?
Yeah, I started to when we talk about violence, I'm gonna get off the track for just a minute.
Oh Lord.
when you was choking, I remember we all gathered up for the family. They gathered up and we was eating gumbo, and my dad got choked off the little gumbo or whatever, and my brother grabbed him around the throat.
He's trying to save him. He was choking him.
I guess he was saying, I got it now.
Leave it to,
No,
hey, we gonna leave it to Tucson. Leave it to
let's
Tucson.
go back. Let's go back. Okay, I'm back to the light. Look, remember when we was going to school and all of a sudden you're doing your own thing, you're going to class or whatever, and something was said. Fight, 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 fight.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't studying going to class.
Yeah.
What didn't care if you was late, but you had to see that fight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I mean, just look. And now, I mean, we did it. I mean, I don't, you know, that's why, Mr. Hicks, sure enough, I'm not going to give up on grandson. I don't give up on mine because
That's right.
I was terrible.
Yes, Lord.
I used to walk in the assistant coach was probably the vice the assistant principal at school, and I would step in the office, and I used to run track, so I had these kind of exotic tennis shoes, and they knew my feet. They said, "What did you do now, Tucson?" Because I was always in the office. But now you look at kids now, and they videotape it. Somebody getting beat down. We love it, man. I saw this song. I don't know what it was. It wasn't Grand Theft Auto. It was something else. Marshall something. And the kid was playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at him play, and I said, "Did he just kick their chest out?"
Mm.
And you see this is a game.
Yeah.
And you kick him in his chest, and the heart come out his back.
Good Lord. Good Lord. Dragon whips tail, brother. Dragon whips tail. Hey, Hicks, you know what I'm talking about? Dragon whips tail is rough, bro. Cornelius, what's on your heart, brother?
Yeah. Dragon whip tail, huh?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I mean, I have so many things in my thoughts. I was just trying to figure out which way I'm gonna go with this. I've been listening to this, and still was what I was speaking on earlier. And I just said at the end of the day, it's all part of our sinful nature, and we all love some form of violence.
Yeah.
Because I'm an action fan. I love to watch action movies. And I thought maybe one of the best fight scenes in the movies I've seen was in Fast and the Furious 5 when Dom fought The Rock. They was going at it, and I thought that was one of the best fight scenes I've ever seen out of all the movies when it first came out. So we all like some type of form, especially we as men. We like that physical contact, all these different things. We like football and boxing. Back in the day, that's why Mike Tyson got so famous, because Mike Tyson was a very violent fighter. And we wanted to see Mike Tyson knock folks out when he first hit the scene. And if you like boxing, you cannot deny that. That's how he got so bad. We wanted to see him knock him out. Remember the first big fight he really ever had was back in the day when he was first on the scene, when he fought Spinks, the second Spinks. Everybody wanted to see that fight. And they wanted to see how Spinks was going to end up fighting. And come to find out, what I've heard in the histories, I don't know if y'all heard this or not, they said Leon Spinks was real nervous of that fight because Mike Tyson supposed to have punched a hole through the wall. And he kept hearing about how hard he hits. Because if you go back and watch that fight, he did not want to hit. He didn't want to really stand toe to toe with Tyson.
No, he was scared.
And I don't think Tyson hit him hard enough to really knock him out. He didn't want to get up and take no more. So it was one of those things that everybody wanted to see Mike Tyson knock a joker out, man, because we was into that violence and all this stuff, man. And as sweet as Muhammad Ali was, he was smooth, but when he really got into it and got into his power punches, everyone loved it, man.
Mm-hmm.
This is just who we are in our nature of just we like it. We talk trash. We're always trying to dominate and different things like that. That's all throughout the Bible. You think about the apostles.
Yeah.
Every last one of them died violently when you read the scriptures, except the Apostle John.
Mm-hmm.
And he died of old age.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure he went through a lot.
Yes, sir.
So it's just a lot of stuff, man, that we're through our society. This is our human nature. Violence is part of our society, man, and we just gotta. And I love what I gotta agree with my man earlier. Everything is a choice. A lot of stuff we choose to do, we act on it. You don't have to always act on violence, because I can think about it. It's been some times, and I ended with this. I'm sorry for being long,
Mm-hmm.
but I think about this situation, man. I look back over my life, and when I was at a point in my life that where you remember back in 1994 when all that stuff went down with O.J. Simpson, and he killed those people. And the blacks were sticking with him because they felt like the blacks got over on the white folks because a man violently killed another man and a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And people were hyped off of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember back then I was going through some stuff with my child's mother, man. And she cheated on me and moved on. And with the guy, she threatened that she was going to marry this guy. And I literally wanted to kill her.
Mm-hmm.
And when they was promoting that so bad, man, that it started messing with my mind to where, man, how can I go about taking her life and his life? It was promoting violence,
Mm-hmm.
and I bought into it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think by the grace of God, things that happened to where my car wouldn't stop to where a start for me to go over there and do what I had planned on doing. So it's just one of those things, man. It's part of our sinful nature. This is what our society is. And I'm going to say one more thing. That Grand Theft Auto, I'm going to go back to that. When that for Grand Theft Auto, you look at some of the scenes on that stuff, that was promoting also rape.
Yeah.
Because remember, sometimes they would throw women in the car and start having sex with them inside the car.
Mm-hmm.
You would see the car moving, they jump out, go move on and go shoot somebody and kill somebody else. Then later down the line, they'd rape another woman and go shoot somebody else up. Man, that video game was not right, and it's still not right today.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it promotes violence, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. Badger, what's on your heart?
You there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, that was a weird sound. Goodness gracious, Thomas.
Badger, come on, man.
Well, I was thinking about like the comment about Grand Theft Auto,
Mm-hmm.
and it's something that, you know, I know video games get brought up a lot, and the part that I find that I always find interesting is there are age limits to these games. And when I worked for retail and stuff, if there was an age limit, if there's an age limit by law, you're not allowed to sell it to the person that's underage.
But Badger,
By law.
Badger, let me say this. Let me say this. I see where you're going, brother. And you know, let me throw this out there before you go there. Porn. There's supposed to be an age limit with porn and different things like that. But how many kids are watching porn? You know, kids still, you know, you can't say that there's an age limit and these people are not going to get a hold to it because of that. When I don't know if you did it, but a lot of people, when they was the Playboy books and stuff like that, there should be an age limit on stuff like that. It's supposed to be, but how many young boys, 9, 10, 11 years old, looking at those books, just laughing, you know, it happens.
Well, where'd they get it from?
It does. See that has nothing to do with the question I just asked you, Badger. That's a diversion. I'm just saying the reality of the situation. These kids are getting their hands on it. These kids are partaking in it. These kids are things. Yes.
I'm gonna ask Badger a question, man, because I knew he was coming with this. I knew this morning he was going there when we started talking about gaming.
Mm-hmm.
When are we gonna hold influence of the importance of influence accountable?
Mm-hmm.
You have to acknowledge the importance of influence. I mean, yeah, we got choices. And yeah, they got age limits, but we also know that some parents don't pay attention to the age limits and they just say it's a game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a game.
So we need
it
to
can't be that bad.
Okay, so hold on. If I'm hearing this correctly, you're saying take the choice away from the irresponsible parent?
No, we saying why produce the product? Why produce something so violent? What is the purpose behind producing Grand Theft Auto? Tell me what is the legitimate, important value behind Grand Theft Auto besides somebody just like to play games that you could do that type of unnecessary, illogical, unpurposeful violence on?
Mm-hmm.
What does it? What is it meant to do? It's meant to influence you. Everything, the media is meant to influence. You talk about media more than anybody, but when we talk about games, you get defensive.
That because Rico,
No,
truth of the matter, truth of the matter is that's another trigger. That's a trigger, and we talked about triggers, and that's just another trigger. Like I said, when we talk about certain things, Badger, you know, not trying to come at you in any kind of way, but I'm gonna tell you some certain things we talk about is a trigger for you. When we talk about the gaming community, because you love it and it's so near and dear to you, that's a trigger to you. And that goes right back to the thing I was telling you about when me, you, and Aaron was talking. It's all triggers, brother. Everybody got their own triggers. And so my thing
is, that is media.
Exactly. And so my thing is this right here. You can't say that sex was supposed to be he said go out there and supposed to be for reproduction. Is do human beings, people, do they use sex just to reproduce, or they use sex because they love it and they want to do it as much as they can, whether they make a baby or not? Everything is made for a reason, but do people stick to the reason in which it was made? Because sex was supposed to be just something to procreate. That's all it's supposed to be, for procreation. Go out there and have sex so you can make more babies. But how many people, Badger, and I want you to answer this question from your whole heart, how many people just have sex to make babies? Or do they do it just because they want to do it every day?
Going?
That's my whole point, brother. Now let's get back on topic. Okay. We're way off base. Let's get back on topic.
Can I finish what I was trying to say before I was interrupted?
Go ahead, Badger.
So we're talking about violence. We're talking about influence.
Mm-hmm.
We're also talking about responsibility. Am I wrong in that?
Badger, no, brother, no. You taking this thing and you're going and you spinning this thing. You're spinning this thing like a top, brother. And we so far off course right now that it's gonna be very difficult. I might need Badger. Hold on, brother.
Level,
Badger. I might need to actually go to another topic because we so far off base right now, man. We might not even be able to get back to where we started. We have to stay on task. We have to stay on the topic. If you got something else you want to say on this topic, let's talk about it. But outside of that, man, we got to move on. Okay, Mr. Hicks, what's on your heart?
To me, wow, a whole lot. I mean, it's the reality. The reality of what's happening is it's sort of like science fiction. It's hard to believe this. That we were born onto a battlefield. We all came here in the middle of a battle between two forces. One more powerful than the other one, but given the time that to wage this war. The war is waged by legions of people they think disembodied spirit. I know it gets really heavy to talk about this, but it's my belief. It's my belief and observation that there are laws, a law of attraction that like is attracting to itself. The think of itself. I remember when I would come in and trying to explain to my mom why I had to do what I did to get in trouble, and she would always say to me, she said, "Well, Ed, what about you?" And I said, "What do you mean, Mama?" She said, "You got to die daily, son." I never understood what she said, die daily. A lot of times when you recognize that there is this battle going on inside you, like they used to say, you got one angel on one shoulder, one whispering your ear bad stuff, one whispering good stuff. It's sort of like a similitude of a reality that you have this battle in your mind, and in the world we live in, was ruled by this enemy, is trying to bring you down with all these things, with these games and with the sex, you look on Facebook now, they got advertised on Facebook that actually showing people having sex. This is not straight on. You go to Facebook, got advertised by some new kind of thing that stimulates you. So it's recognizing for me that we are in a battle. We're on a war, and our battle is a day-by-day battle. And I used to think, when I got, when I got delivered, what I call saved, right? I thought the dude was dumb because that spirit that was inside me to hurt people and to fight and destroy was just disappeared, right? So I said, "Oh man, that's over." Then I started recognizing that it was a temporary relief, and there's a battle going on that I got to wage now. I know that I was possessed, but it's not there no more. But I know that the enemy is coming at me now because I changed my path. I know he don't like me anymore. He's gonna try. He's gonna try to bring that. He's gonna, like Paul say, want me to go back and dig that old dead man up out of the grave, right? And be sort of proud of my past. And I think the best thing in this time, the only advice I give my children, grandchildren, I say, think on these things, those fruits of the spirit, on good things. And what that's basically saying, where you put your thoughts on, where you put your mind on, what you walk around constantly with, you're gonna, because we're moving in a world of vibration and energies, if you're gonna attract. My dad used to tell me, he said, "Son, you're gonna be the bigger devil than yourself." He said, and I did. And when I did, I was shocked because I was faking it. I had the word inside me. I knew what was right. I was just adapting to the world around me, trying to survive. But when I saw the devil face to face in prison, those kind of people that have no kind of empathy, no kind of emotion, I mean, serial killers, people that were, you look as calm and cool as everything else, but you look at their record and what the record, not just on the world, but inside the prison. And I knew that it got me out of prison, I tell you that. Thinking a certain way, believing a certain way, fasting, praying, meditating on the word, meditating, thinking, trying to see, what do this word mean? What does it mean that the meek shall inherit the earth? What does it mean that, what does this mean? What is the universal principle tied up with this here? Because we're in a world that's governed by universal laws. The creator created this thing. His son is spinning. He put laws out here. They work for anybody and everybody, good or bad. But you're going to be judged on the end. And your judgment is immediate. It's not like in the future somewhere. You're judged when you do the thing. But you have a recompense. You have a way in between that stuff to repent.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna stop preaching. That's me. I'm out here.
Good deal. Rodney, what's on your heart, brother?
Two things. First, Mr. Hicks, that smoking jacket, I wish you had kept that on.
I got hot. I turned the heat on.
Okay. But, Badger kind of stumbled on the with the choice thing. When I was coming up, I used to hang out at the Elks Club with the old cats, right? And I learned with the old cats, if they tell you something 3 times, you need to heed that warning. You know what I mean? The old guy told me, he said, I'm too old to fight you. You know what I mean? And so what I've came to the conclusion is that we all deal with that issue, but the choice comes down to, especially nowadays, the decisions you make are life-changing. You know what I mean? I'll tell somebody in a second. I said, you don't want to go down that road with me because it's going to change your life. Either I'm going to die or you're going to go to jail, or I'm going to kill you. It's going to be permanent. You know what I mean? And a lot of these young people understand that these choices that they're making to be violent is permanent. When I was a bail bondsman, I've bonded out 2 or 3 young teenagers for murder. They've gone through this, they're hanging out with their friends, doing their thing, and they didn't realize that one night taking a ride out changed their life. You know what I mean? I mean, exactly. I mean, I was thinking, I knew this Jewish guy in Connecticut, and he said, if I ever want to get a black person in jail, I know how to do it. I'll call him the N-word, and I'll let him beat you to death. You know what I mean? And he'll call the cop. You know what I mean? He told me that. So I mean, but at the end of the day, we don't understand that we let our emotions, whether it be our ego or emotions or whatever, make decisions that are going to change our lives.
Yeah.
Violence is the E part. Like I said, when I make that choice, I have friends that are law enforcement. When I make that choice to make that move, I'm going to calculate what's the downside to this. You know what I mean? Now, if I can deal with the downside, I'm going to move forward. If I can't deal with the downside, and I tell my kids all the time, I think I told you earlier, I use a 10-second rule. Before you punch somebody in the face, you take 10 seconds to think about what you're going to do and how it's going to end. You know what I mean? And a lot of us don't take that few minutes to think, okay, yeah, I can shoot this guy. Now, where am I going to go later on? So my point
exactly.
is,
What's the next step?
It's all about choices. What's going to happen after? What's going to happen after the party? What's going to happen after the fight? What's going to happen when you're on video and it goes viral? Like the young man that they killed that rapper in Houston. It's going viral now. It's just a matter of time before he's locked up for what? A one night of showing out.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Let me go. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
We sort of went backwards, man. It's less about the choices and more about the consequences.
Yep.
But see, because if you ain't got no consequences behind it, then it's easier for you to do it. So now I think about this. I remember hearing stories about people saying they first time killing a chicken back in the day, how uncomfortable it was. But you know what happens after you start getting comfortable with killing so you can survive and eat, that natural instinct, it becomes easier. But guess what you're doing when you're killing that fish or you're killing that chicken? You commit some violence. You're killing it. It gets a little easier to kill so you can survive. So people say, well, you got a choice to make. You don't always have to choose violence. Well, let somebody come at you with a machete or a stick, and they just finished beating your brother to death, and now they're ready to beat you to death. And if you don't kill them, they're going to kill you. You might choose violence, and it's necessary. See, it's natural. But see, what violence really comes in, that violence really becomes an issue or becomes a part of the game, depending on how obsessed, addicted, or consumed you are with controlling that situation. That's when violence becomes an issue. If you're not obsessed or consumed with having control of this situation or this person or this organization, then you might not want to kill somebody. But if you are so obsessed with being the main piece of the puzzle, the big dog, you might start killing people. And it might not bother you to kill people because you've been desensitized and you ain't got no consequences. Yeah, you got choices, but when you get glory, when it's glorified and you're rewarded, when you actually gain and don't nothing happen to you, then the choice don't even mean nothing no more. It's the consequences that have made you. So I get what everybody's saying about the choices. Everybody does have choices, of course, but we also have things that influence us to make these choices. And maybe the influence is I can get all this money. I can get his wife. We could kill him and get insurance, and I can live in that big house he got. So now you got influenced by the wife, by the house, and everything she gonna get from the insurance. And you ain't gonna have no consequences because you don't kill before.
Yep, exactly. And that's what it is. And so I say that there are very evil people out there, man. And we have to be real mindful of that, like you said about that person coming out with them with the machete or the stick and killed your brother. There are violent people out here, man. And so we have to be mindful of that. So I don't want to see nobody into anything not knowing. Let me go to Elder. Elder, what's on your heart, brother? Can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the society that we live in, and the reason that it's getting worse and worse is that we don't have a standard. We don't have any kind of standard for the children. If I was reading, as I was looking on here, Romans chapter 3 in the Bible talks about how all people are sinners and run toward evil and, all that kind of thing. It's a fact. It's just part of our nature. It really is. And like somebody was said, there's nothing given the right circumstances that none of us won't do to protect ourselves, whatever the case may be. Or even if we get so upset with somebody out of revenge, we never can tell. But that's where our job is to get the word of God. Like my brother said that he grew up with that, and that was the thing that kept him. That was the thing that got him out of prison, was the keeping his mind stayed on the Lord. And there is no room for that. So we rather give the kids a video to look at rather than take them to church.
Come on.
Or read the Bible to them. Or teach them the right and the wrong. There's choice right there. And we don't talk about the consequences, because all we're thinking about is if I get this kid to do this right now, he not be bothering me. I can put him in his little corner with his little TV. I can give him a little iPad. I can give a 3 or 5 year old child an iPad to just leave the heck me alone.
Yeah.
And then he just go on there and look at anything he want to look at. And then you surprised, oh my God, not Junior. How did he, and everybody's all surprised.
Yeah.
By what? You see what I'm saying? So there's a choice. Our job is to some kind of way revive the standard. We all the standard is up here, and we all are underneath the standard.
Yes, sir.
And we all are prone to wander from the standard. But if we can get the standard out in some kind of way and touch somebody's life, touch a parent's life or a child's life, to help that person understand that there is a consequence, there's a hell to shun.
Wow. That's
this
good.
This boy that killed them guys the other day, despite he got some, I'm sure he got some satisfaction. They bullied him. I got you.
Yeah.
But the larger consequence is that it could be hell for him. It's murder on this. You see what I'm saying? So
exactly.
we have to be able to get the word of truth, the standard, revitalized.
Absolutely. Cornelius, what's on your heart? And Toussaint coming to you next.
Can you hear me, Raheem?
Yes, sir.
All right. I may press my phone or something. I got it messed up. But hey, Raheem, by the way, before I make my comment, I gotta get ready to get back to work, man. So I apologize.
No, man, I appreciate you being here, man. I appreciate you being here, brother.
Yeah, and I just want to say this to the fellas before I finish this out. I want to say I thank God for having the opportunity to be here on here with you guys. I don't take it lightly, because I've been to 4 funerals. They're about to be 4 funerals within the last 7 weeks.
Wow.
People are leaving here. So I just want to take this opportunity to tell you guys, and I appreciate all the times that we've been spending together.
Yes, sir.
And gentlemen, don't never take this lightly, because we never know when our time is up. So always make sure that we continue to enjoy each other's family, friends, associates, whatever that case may be, because time is short. We're living in God is showing us, man, that we got to make sure that we're ready. And that's why I'm at with it on that. So I just want to encourage y'all with that. And on that note, and finishing with this, the violence, man, that we live in our world, in our society today. I love what the fellas are saying about the word of God. I love teaching. That's the gift that God has put inside me, to teach the gospel. The Bible tells us that he's given us the 5-fold ministry for the edifying and equipping of the church.
Yes.
And one of that 5-fold is teaching. Now, when you're talking about the spiritual realm, you're talking about strongholds. I did a lot of exclusive studying on strongholds. I did a lot of exclusive studying on things that we deal with in the spirit. And one of the things I learned about was where it says over in Timothy, where it talks about a shared conscience. And what it means to be sheared means to be cauterized, means to be burnt.
Mm-hmm.
That where when demonic operation is operating in the mind, because the devil don't like us because God loves us. So he wants us to kill each other. He really wants that because he gets to him, he enjoys that because he has such a short time. Because the Bible wouldn't have taught in Revelations that woe unto the inhabitants of the whole earth. What is that woe in the spiritual realm, and what it means in the Greek? It means extreme grief. So we're talking about look at the word. It says, "Woe unto the inhabitants of the whole earth." The enemy has unleashed a wrath. Why? Because he has such a short time.
Mm-hmm.
So the times and seasons that we're seeing, these are the times where violence have increased. I don't know if y'all noticed this or not, fellas. You know, it used to be a time stuff will happen, and you have a time of peace and quiet.
Mm-hmm.
But have you noticed how things are happening back to back to back?
Yes, sir.
It's like non-stop now.
Mm-hmm.
And listen what I just said. I had went to 4 funerals within 7 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
People are leaving here.
Yes,
And that's the whole thing, man. Anytime a football player, can come into his campus that used to be on the team and come and kill his former teammates.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, dude.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Categorize people did that spirit that's operating in society, and I look at it as, and I begin to, when God showed me this, when he was telling me about this, when God was explaining this to me, it talked about means to abstract, means to move. When the enemy is operating in that mind, that conscience, to use people to do violent things, they don't even know it. That's where you get that murder-suicide from.
Mm-hmm.
People will see what they've done and they blow their brains out because they can't deal with it, of the consequences that they did. They can't face the consequences that they're gonna have to go through because of what they did. So in saying all that, man, we just got to continue to pray and ask God to protect our families, our homes,
Yes.
wherever we may go,
Mm-hmm.
and stand on God's power and his glory and walk in the discernment and the power of the Holy Ghost, man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we can be able to continue to stand. And after we done all we can do, stand in these last and evil days, man. And that's just my final thought.
Good deal.
Raheem, brother, it's always an honor, man. Fellas,
Likewise.
man, always an honor to be on here with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Because, man, we never know.
Exactly.
It may be our last.
Absolutely.
And I just want to say that with you.
Hey,
God bless you, man.
hey,
Love
appreciate
you.
you. Love you, man.
To work.
Yes, sir. Love you, brother. Toussaint, what's on your heart? And I see you right. I'm coming to you, brother. Toussaint, what's on your heart, brother?
Yeah, that's the Cornelius. Appreciate him, man. Always.
Uh-oh.
No, I'm multitasking here because I'm looking at comments and then I'm trying to, everything's for a purpose.
Yes.
And the main thing here, while we are here, is there's somebody's listening. And you don't get into a conversation just to be in the conversation for the sake of the conversation.
Yeah.
And then just so I have to be careful of what I say. I don't say things just to be saying it. Because we live in this world, it seems to be a figment of everybody's imagination. But evil is real.
Yes, sir. Yes. Absolutely.
Manipulation is real. There are forces. There's entities that's working right now that'll make you do something that you didn't think you would ever do.
Mm-hmm.
And now these days it's popular. We're making it popular.
Mm-hmm.
And we're enjoying the ride.
Yes,
on
absolutely.
the way to be showing that we're self-destructive.
Mm-hmm.
We really are. And
Wow.
we're loving it. And now we have this modern technology to egg it on.
Mm-hmm.
To push it out there and say, if I can just get a couple of likes and shares, then I'm willing to do anything.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
We got our and I know but man, I for some reason I was reminded of the little Feist dog that kept bothering the Doberman. I think it was a Doberman that kept passing by the house, and he'll ram onto the fence. And he kept doing it day by day, running into the fence, until one day the doggone fence opened up. And here he and the big dog is out there, and now all of that smoke he was talking finally came. You know, it met him head on, and the Doberman whooped him really good. And the only thing that he could say is, "Who the hell left the gate open?"
Hey, Lord, Lord. Look at Mr. Hicks. Mr. Hicks can't contain himself. He can't contain himself. Let me go to Cap. Captain, good evening, sir. Look at it. Cap, good evening, sir. How you doing this evening?
How you doing? What's going on, my brother?
Hey, doing good, man. We gotta send your friend. We gotta send your brother to something in the corner, man. He acting up tonight. But I want to ask you this.
Don't worry, I'm on my way there. If you ask me the wrong question, I'm gonna be on my way with you, brother.
He said he already know, Captain. He said he already know. But what we're talking about right now is do we glamorize? Do we as a society glamorize violence? And all the stuff that's going on in this day and time. Cap, do we glamorize violence?
Oh man, no question, man. Violence sells. Violence sells, man. There ain't no question, man. You know, violence has become the new norm of entertainment. And you know, there's an old saying in when you deal with newspapers, if it bleeds, it leads. You know, sad as it may be, America is a violent country, man. I mean, she was founded on violence. And every movie, I mean, let's just, come on, I'm gonna just keep it one. I don't want to look at a movie unless it's rated R. If it's rated R, I'm gonna look at it. Yeah. Because I know it got the violence in it and all the madness, the blood and guts. So we are driven, truthfully, by the violence. But now, as Malcolm said, now look what happened. Now the chicken is coming home to roost. Now the very thing that America was founded on is the very thing that's taking her down. So yes, it is glamorized, and we do see that violence sells. And as sad as it may be, it is this kind of senseless violence, as we call it, senseless violence, that has really desensitized us.
Absolutely.
We're very desensitized now. We can hear. I mean, we can hear the three guys got killed today, and you know, we show pain of the man shooting the three brothers yesterday, and then we moving on to something else. You know, George Floyd, he's forgotten. You know, I mean, just the other day, you know, he's ready to tear up something because they put the knee on my man's neck, and it's like everything else. It fades into the wind.
Exactly.
But I do believe, answering your question, yes, as sad as it may be, we have become desensitized by the violence. And what are we going to do to be able to get back to some sense of normal? I really don't believe we could get back to any sense of normal when you got these kind of movies, John Wick 2, John Wick 3, John Wick. Man, that's the most violent movie I ever seen in my life. But then again, that's America. And let me go see the movie with Black Panther. That's pretty much not the most decent movie you could look at that gives you some sense of peace. No violence in it, but it ends on a peaceful note.
Absolutely. That's good. I saw you, Rodney. I saw your hand, brother. What's on your heart?
No, I was just doing a lot of thinking, and the brother hit something on the head. I don't know if you guys guys remember a while back, they had this news channel of good news only. That didn't last long. Well, they had nothing but positive stories. You know what I mean? It didn't last long at all. And also, I brought to my psyche was the brother said that people are leaving here in record numbers. I mean, well, it seems like it's moving fast. And so the only thing I can say to that is that us as individuals, we can control our circles. You know what I mean? We can try to influence for the better, because we know the society is influencing for the worst. So either through this broadcast or through our personal lives, we try to save as many people or talk to as many people as we can, because they are, I hate to say there's more of them than of us, but at the end of the day, we have to keep that fight up. Because again, a lot of these things happen because people feel they have no hope, they have no choice, they have no self-esteem, they have no God, they have nothing. Because I know for myself, before I think about committing something horrendous, I think about my children, my wife, I think about the people around me, how they're going to affect them. But when you don't have that empathy about the people around you, you're out for self, you're going to commit these acts. And so we as individuals have to kind of, you know, we have to kind of influence ourselves, you know.
Yeah.
And if we by chance fall prey to other people's violence, because let's face it, it's random. We could be walking down the street and a guy decides he wants to get some notches on his belt. You know what I mean? And we fall victim to it. So the only thing we can do in the interim is work toward a higher goal and pray that we and our family members don't fall victim to somebody's follies or somebody's, you know, good time. Because you got gangs out here, that's their thing. Their thing is, if I can get a couple of bodies, I done made my bones with the group.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And they don't care about you. You know what I mean? They just want to put a notch in their belt. You know?
Exactly.
So it's out there. So the only thing I can say is that we just need to, the time we have on earth, spend it wisely, spend it productive. And then if it hits our doorstep, then we just gotta act accordingly. You know?
Absolutely. And that's so very sad, man, that a human body, a human being could be minimized to just a notch on your belt. Gonna go to Mr. Hicks, then we're gonna go to Rico. Mr. Hicks, what's on your heart, sir?
Oh, well,
Mr. Hicks, you all right?
Well, I think I said everything. You know, it's this war we in, the battle we in, putting on the full armor, and I do believe this here. I believe strongly that things don't happen to you; they happen through you. I think when we talk about choice, we talk about the thing of choice. The choice starts long before the incident happened in front of you. The choice starts in your every walk. I think one of the scriptures said that Jesus said that we would pray unceasingly. It was sort of implying that all our thoughts were a prayer. And I think about the thing in the story about Job. Job screamed that that which I fear has come upon me. So somewhere with all the fortune he had with family and sheep and goats and all the stuff he still had a fear inside him that he would lose it. So I think it's important to walk in faith and build your faith up, to build a shield in the constant attacks we're getting from the world we're pilgriming through. It's almost what the thing said, we're pilgrims in this world, traveling to another. Our hope is somewhere else. And Jesus said, "My kingdom is not of this world."
Yes.
That's not earth. That's not earth. That's world. And the world is institutions. The world is the rule that is under. And we know that right now the world is under the rule of the prince of the air. The air.
Wow.
That's the air. Music, television. You know, they finally got a capacity now with the technology we have where it can materialize to have that one world government and have that one world ruler that sit on the throne. So, and I know, to me, I wish I could express so much how I I see this from looking at history from the Reformation to the organization of Black Pope and the Jessups and the taking over of governments to take out of the earth this government ruled by people by law under the banner of Christianity. You know, I'm talking the very core, the very belief that you're in His image and you're important. Your voice is important. What I put inside you to bring to the world is important. You got to share that.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's good. That's good. Rico, talk to me, brother.
Man, you know, I think about cause and effect. You know, you know what it is, man. You know, people. Sometimes we feel like it won't hurt to dabble in this a little bit. It won't hurt just a little bit. You know, it feel good. It ain't that bad. You know, we feel like that. I know people that tried crack before because they thought they could beat it. Boy, you should have saw them right after that.
Wow.
It can't be that bad. I know I got a choice, but something is influencing me to want to try and see what that crack is like, man, because they sure look like they getting high as a kite, man, and I want to get high as an alien turd. I got to try it, man. That influence. You know, I think about cowboys and Indians and cops and robbers, good guy versus bad guy. And I think about somewhere the good guy got to do something violent, like the Duke John Wayne. You remember he was a bad Clint Eastwood. John Wick. You know, y'all used to bring up John Wick, man. He's the good guy. But he's a bad murdering son of a gun, man. That joker kill up someone. I mean, he's so spectacular doing it. I mean, man, I ain't never seen nothing like it. But they glorify it. You said the key word, do we glorify it? Yes. Yeah. So you have to ask yourself, we might have a choice to go watch it. We might not, but sometimes, it might not be that bad. You know, I like listening to that music because I like the beats.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like Keanu Reeves or whatever. You know, we just dabble in a little bit. It ain't that bad. It's just a game. But you have to ask yourself, what is the purpose? What's the cause and effect? What can come out of this? Is it something good going to come out of this movie or this game? What is this movie going to give you? What's going to leave in your mind when you leave from watching this movie or playing this game? What feeling are you going to get? Is it going to be something good, or is it just going to be an adrenaline rush? Or where you just finished doing a whole bunch of killing? So you ask yourself, the people that produce these things, even though they know we have a choice, they also understand the power of influence.
Yes.
So you ask yourself, why would they produce something like this? Why would they produce a Grand Theft Auto that has no sense of the purpose of winning or anything good coming out of it? You get more points from just doing violence.
Yes, absolutely.
And most of the time, people ain't even playing a part of the game where you got missions that's telling you to do these violent things to take over this drug organization, to take over this gang. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's telling you to go do these bad things in this game to go and take over, but it ain't that bad. It's just a game. You got choices. Well, guess what? These children, parents might not be buying the music that they're listening to. They dang sure ain't bringing the girl over to their house that they can have to get pregnant early teens. If they could get hold to some cat and make a baby, why can't they get hold to a video game?
Exactly.
So now somebody out here knows that even though they put this little label on here, this amazing thing they call parental controls, that's just supposed to solve the whole problem. Nah. I listened to everything. Listen, I was screwing at 8, man. You think my parents was telling me to go do that? They didn't even think I knew about it. They was hoping I was dumb and didn't know anything about it, just naive. Yeah, go play this game. When they want to hang out and have a good time, y'all go in the back room and stay out of our house. Ooh, thank you. I know as long as we don't bother y'all, then I can stay back here with your daughter and we can do our thing. Ain't nobody checking on us. I mean, but still, going back to the violence, what's being glorified. These people produce this content knowing that it's easily going to end up getting to people. That's why people sneak porn on cartoons on YouTube. That's why you always find people doing something sinister and evil. because we live in this environment where even though we do have choices, when somebody is telling you for you to accomplish and achieve this American dream, for you to be successful, for you to do what you want to do and have what you have and always finish on top, you got to be like John Wick, or you got to go to killing, you got to do this, and you got to glorify this because it's successful. We rewarding it right now. You hear the rappers, you know, now if we're gonna have the music, if we're gonna hold the music people accountable, we got to hold the movie and the game people accountable. We got to hold all these people accountable and ask them, why are y'all producing this content and what good is coming out of it? If it's just for entertainment, what type of entertainment is it still influencing people? Because when people leave that movie theater or get up from whatever they just finished intaking into this computer, it's going to have some type of effect on them. It might be some dopamine, adrenaline. It might make them feel bad. It might make them feel scared. Or it might make them feel sorry for Jeffrey Dahmer.
Wow. But we got a few more minutes before we get out of here. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Toussaint, talk to me, brother.
No, man, I'm just listening. I think that we tried to establish the fact that we got this thing in us, all of us.
Yeah.
At a certain level. We love it, man.
Wow.
I'm telling you, but I love me some MMA.
Yeah.
I mean, you man, look, you can elbow a person in the mouth and don't get disqualified.
Well, Mike Tyson been doing that forever, though.
Well, yeah, but see, they'll take off points. But man, if you can catch him right here and choke him out. Choke him out.
Might even be able to break his arm. Might even be able to break an arm, Donald.
What a deal. What a deal. $50 a ticket. If not 100. And that's a bad seat. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get up close, you got to pay more.
Yeah. You got to put some more zeros on that thing.
Just to see him bleed. Ain't that something?
Wow.
Just to get some blood on you. Look what I got on my shirt.
And look, and if you can wind up with the bloody shirt of the opponent, especially if he's the winner, is worth millions.
Yeah. Wow. We're gonna change this topic, man. Y'all are something else, man. But ain't no but truth coming forth, man. That's exactly what it is. Before I even switch this topic, let me go to Captain. Captain, anything on your heart before we move on?
Man, my man Rico, man. Rico sure know how to paint a picture. He just make you think he puts you in. He should be a movie commentator. I was looking as he was telling them stories, man. And he was writing about John Wick, man. This dude killed everybody. And he was a good guy.
Yeah.
But let me say this, you pretty much can appreciate, because I know you go back way. Do you remember that part when in the movie Goldie and Julian, he was sitting with his brother, and his brother said, if I can remember, he said, in order for us to do, we got to kill the pimps, the players. He was talking about all the people we have to kill in order, and then start all over again. Do you remember that, Brother Rico? What he said?
Yep.
And do you remember when my man Cody was trying to tell me, ain't nobody gonna tell me what to stop doing. But what he was saying was, in order for us to get back to some sense of normal, can you imagine the people we got to eliminate?
Yeah.
That's what
absolutely.
he was basically saying. It ain't about, so at this, and then I'm gonna mention this to my Christian brothers on this line. And we got to deal with the elephant in the room now. We have to see this as Satan versus God. This is a battle between Satan and God. And if we look at it, it almost looks like Satan winning. Because everything we see of this world is wicked and evil. And so the question is, for those of us who believe in God, what you going to do, Lord? You going to stand by and let Satan win? But if you and I, who truthfully study the scripture, we know that God gave Adam 6 days. 6 days God gave him the root, according to the scripture. I'm just quoting scripture. And then God said to Adam, on the 7th day, you shall rest. Now, some can interpret that in a certain way, but I'm going to share with you what Elijah Muhammad, my leader and teacher, said about that part of the scripture. I'm just sharing you. We're going to put our spin on it, okay? It's our spin. Now, Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that Adam is the Caucasian race. I'm going to say that again. Adam is the Caucasian race. If you look at their history, violence has been on our planet by over about, it's just recently 6,000 years. Everything of the last 6,000 years has been under the European people's rule. You can go past 6,000 years or go way back 8, 10, 12, you won't find this level of violence. So when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that it is the beginning of the Caucasian rule, God said, and who is we? It's us, the original people, said we're going to give you Europeans 6,000 years. 6 days, the day of the Lord is as 1,000 years. So 6,000 years, we're going to give you Europeans an opportunity, and you can do anything you want. Conquer the fish of the sea, the fowl of the air, every creeping doggone thing on this planet. White folks, you got it. And guess what? They did it. They done went to the depths of the ocean, the heights of the air, and they did everything. But if that's the case, and God said, now on the 7th day, which means the 7,000 years, your rule is up, and I got to erase your whole evil, wicked world, and I, God, have to establish my kingdom, which is called the kingdom of God on earth, but only after Satan had did his rule, and his time is up, and his time is absolutely up. Now we seeing the end of their world and the beginning of God's world. So when we look at what's going on, family, this is me talking. It's over with. The 7,000 years on. What is the 7,000 years? The scripture said, I beheld when all the thrones was cast down and the Ancient of Days did sit. He had hair like lamb's wool. He had feet like brass burned in the of his eyes was like fiery coal. What did you see, Daniel? I seen that man coming back to his throne. I seen him coming back to his throne. And that's what I see, us coming back to our throne. They threw. That's just Captain Dennis' opinion. You can take it or let it alone. I don't mean to put that. That just told you what we believe. I don't mean to offend no one.
Absolutely, absolutely. Tucson, talk to me, brother. I see you over there.
Man, look, let me tell you something. I think I could walk with Cap for miles. And you know what? Another thing about it, I think we're going to get along fine. That's all I got to say, man.
Good deal, good deal.
I just ain't want to hang with you in the corner, though, because I don't mind. I'm tired of me and you over there sitting there pitching pennies over in the corner, man. I'm tired of that.
Rodney, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me. Rodney? I think Rodney froze over there, ain't it? Rodney locked in, and Rodney is frozen. Look at it. He is froze, boy. He can't even move. Mr. Hicks, talk to me, sir.
Man, stir my blood up.
Stir it up.
Stir it up.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's how do you say that? It's a matter of faith to believe the end of this book, this story, this battle. You know, this is a battle, it's a war. These 1/3 came down doing this damage. We don't see him anymore, so we don't believe him anymore. But there's an ending to the book of this story, and it's happening to that, and that's what it was. The last shall be first. There will be justice in the land. There will be recompense. There will be a judgment. You know, well, I used to think about that thing, you know, and I remember I come home, my mom would tell me, turn the other cheek. My dad would say, go out there and get a brick. and I would try, and I don't know, I was trying one thing one day and another thing another day, see what worked, right? But when I used to hear that story, when I would hear that part, when it talked about Jesus returning with his hair white, with a blazing eyes and a sword dipped in blood at the head of legions, and just the idea that I say, man, somebody go come and straighten all this out and get them back, get all of them, get them all, Lord. and I still believe that, not so much in a literal, but in a sense that I know that it's written, and it's not just written in what the books we call the Bible is written back in ancient. It's a prophecy's been going on among the Hopi Indians, among different tribes, at different times. They talked about this war. And they talked about the victory being for the righteous in the end. So I'm optimistic.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's good. That's good. Elder, talk to me, sir. Talk to me.
Well, I am just still listening, and I see where our conversation is turning. And our conversation is turning toward hope. And that's what it's all about. That despite all the bad reports and the bad news and everything, there's still hope. There's hope. There's still a chance for revival, even in our own lives, to be on fire for the truth, you know, in truth, on fire for the truth. Not just in word, but in truth. There's hope for us as we look toward the Lord, and as we believe that justice is gonna flood down.
That's good.
And the Lord will return.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Rico, talk to me, brother.
I think it goes back to what Elder was saying too earlier about the standard. You know, our value system.
Yes, sir.
You know, I look at a lot of things that I indulged in the past, and I realized why I did it and how unnecessary it was. And then I see now, you know, what happened before me and pretty much what's going on after me. You know, what people were really consumed with and addicted to. And then it really does come down to choice, even after you think about consequence. You know, when we talk about violence being glorified and being the way of life now, I believe it comes down to, you know, we have to find some things just completely unacceptable. You know, like people are quick to say, well, this is an abomination. God said this is an abomination. God said that is an abomination. But then some of these things that we look at as an abomination, we consider entertainment also.
Yes. Yes.
So like we have to put entertainment and recreation in its proper place and understand during this existence that we have a bigger purpose in our life than to be entertained. And in the process of us being entertained, we have to also, you know, realize that there's an influence that comes with that, an emotion, a feeling, and a good feeling. And if it's a good feeling that comes with it, what that good feeling came from is something that we have to look at. Are you feeling good because it was justice served, or are you feeling good because the bad guys won? If you're actually feeling good because there was a good outcome, a good reason, a good purpose, or intent for this entertainment that you're looking at, then, you know, go with that. But if you see things that really don't have no good purpose behind it besides just winning, I mean, it don't matter what the message is, but just winning is the ultimate goal. Then you have to ask yourself, why is this even being promoted? Until you tell yourself also that if it ain't no good that can come out of it, even though you might win, if it ain't no good that can come out of it, don't give it so much of your energy. I think, you know, society as a whole is giving too much energy to entertainment, and it ain't really a whole lot of good to come out of entertainment besides the fact of just being entertained.
Exactly. And Rodney, what's on your heart, man? Knowing that, and we've established the fact already that a certain part of society does glamorize violence. What can we do, Rodney? How can we get past that point where we can find some kind of peace? Rodney froze again.
Well,
Lord Jesus. There you go.
No, I'm here. Can you hear me? No,
we hear you. Go ahead.
I think, I was thinking before I got connected. I was thinking about what Rico said. We used to go down to 42nd Street in Manhattan to watch Bruce Lee movies back in the 70s, and everybody left the movie theater wanting to learn karate. You know what I mean? Want to do their thing. We saw Superfly, Shaft, and all the movies. Brothers bought the fur coats and got the Cadillacs. You know what I mean? And so what it comes down to, the way we combat that basically is by reprogramming. I'm not a minister or anything like that, but the scripture that comes to my mind is think on things that are good. You know what I mean? Program your mind to think on what is good. You're always going to be influenced by the negative.
Yeah.
But think of good stuff and surround yourself with goodness, because what happens, I'm going to share this real fast story with you, real fast.
Normally that's a long story, y'all. That's a long story, y'all.
Okay, now you interrupted me.
Normally that's a long story.
I was in a housing project, and it's just, when I say the hood, it was strictly the hood. All right, it was deadly bloody, and then it was right on Long Island Sound. I talked to my pastor friend. I said, I went up to the 6th floor of this high rise, and I looked out over. I saw the Long Island Sound. I saw the sunrise. I never looked down to see the grit and grime on the bottom. So I'm saying to you that we can focus on what we want to focus on. But everything has beauty in it. You know what I mean? Every circumstance is not as dire as we perceive it if we take it in that way. A lot of times we're taking in a negativity. You know what I'm saying?
Preach.
And we don't have to. We can program, we can think of things that are good. You know what I mean? And so that's how we combat the what's going on is change our thoughts.
Do good.
Right, I'm gonna tell you something, brother. Man, we was about to fire you, but we're gonna let you come back next week.
He's in the club. He passed.
Look, you just bought another week, brother. You just bought another week.
I'm only good for my last week.
No, you was all on it, bro.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Ms. Hicks. Go ahead, Ms. Hicks.
He's all on it. That's the freedom. That's the liberty we give him. Things this ain't no kismet. We're not just leaves floating in the earth, just going anywhere, blow by every wind.
Harry Hippie.
Yeah, Harry. We have the power of God deposited in us. As you believe is done unto you. As a man thinketh in his heart. It's the principles right there. Think on these things.
Oh, Mr. Hicks about to preach, y'all. We only got like 7 minutes.
I'm gonna drop the mic. I'm gonna drop the mic. Mama, I come in, Mama. I'm trying to explain to her. Mama, I tried. Mama. I've been dodging this guy. He been chasing me home. He been messing me up. The ambulance outside and lights are flashing. I'm scared like crazy. I thought I killed him. And I'm trying to make her understand my point of view. And she keeps saying to me, said, Ed, what about you? He said, what are you? He said, you walk around here fighting on your brothers and sisters all the time, being mean to everybody. Why you think stuff is happening? Things ain't just happening to you. It happened because of you. You know better, Ed. I know you know better. You always known better. So when you finally take the word of the advice of your elders, your mothers, and you think about you, and you think about, I can say, what are you doing? Like Captain said, what are you doing? There's a song. It's been an earmark of mine.
Oh, Lord.
This little light of mine. I'm not going to sing it.
Oh, Lord.
Man, I'm a singer since you said that. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine.
Okay, hold on. What my mute button? I know I'm going to have to do this to Mr. Hicks, but watch this. Let me see, that mute button does work, brother. It does work.
He done hit every base on the field tonight. He done got all the way out of his shell. Then he done went to the corner at the same time. I got muted all in one day.
He got it all. He got it all. Look, he look. He came into himself. They didn't. And had old folks say he came into himself today, didn't it? Rico, what's on your heart, brother? Exactly. Rico, talk to me, brother.
Man, I think they pretty much got it all, man. You know, it's all about choice. I mean, it goes back to what I was feeling earlier, man. You know, some things you just have to make unacceptable. You know, if it ain't no good that could come out of it, then what's the use of it? You know, I know, like, a lot of times I get invited to party like I used to when I was younger. When I was young, I used to like to party and go to events and birthday parties all the time. But at the same time, I sort of felt uncomfortable because I wasn't getting nothing out of it.
Yeah.
I was just there, just, you know, smiling, drinking, having a good time. Same thing at the club. And then we got to a point where when I did start going to the club, I had a goal. I needed to leave that with something that night. That had to be my intention, my motivation, because other than that, I just didn't want to go there and sit back and drink and spend money and listen to music. I could do that at home. I always felt like I needed to have something to come out of it. Now, I do like my entertainment. Don't get me wrong. I do like entertainment, but even if I get some entertainment, I want to get something good out of it, a message or something like that, something of substantial value. So, you know, I think, you know, when you look at a lot of these things that we consume and that we, you know, program our brains with, and subconsciously with entertainment, because we really don't understand over the years that some of the things that we consume, we didn't realize had an impact on us just because we were entertained by it. We have to start, you know, setting a standard of what we want to consume. I think that's why I like religion to a certain extent. You know, that's especially some of those extreme religions that just make some things completely. You can't come here with that. You're gonna wear these type of clothes. You're gonna cover up. I mean, I love all that about religion, because I also understand that the minute they know that you go ahead and take that little inch into the other direction, you're gonna end up taking a mile.
Exactly.
That's just human nature.
Yep. How they say, give a Negro a rope, you want to be a cowboy. That's just what it is. But they don't say Negro, they say something else. Toussaint, what's on your heart? Then we're gonna go to Captain. Then we're gonna wrap it up and let everybody we're gonna get on out of here for tonight. Toussaint, what's on your heart, brother?
No, Denzel Washington played he's a good actor. And I remember when he finally played the bad guy, Training Day.
Yes, sir.
And everybody was like, no, man, no. But when he got whooped down in the streets, best part of the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Y'all be playing cards in Pelican Bay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm gonna leave it right there.
Look at your album.
Out of all that awesome acting he did, that's what he got an Oscar for.
Yeah, exactly.
Out of all that awesome acting did, he had to get an Oscar.
Yeah,
for being a monster.
And that's like Halle Berry. You know, look at what she got her. Look what she got her for.
Yeah.
Man, she did on Losing Eyes. Oh, she did a lot of great movies, man.
Yes.
Look at what they recognize her for. Cat, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me. We got to get ready to get on out of here.
Well, man, they absolutely right. You know, Denzel Washington, that was the easy role for us to play, because that's what we do. He played the role we play. But I like to say, you know, the Bible said we all God's children of the Most High God. We all God's children of the Most High God. I like that everybody say yes. We have the choice to choose how to live our life. And we don't have to participate in the madness of this world. But I want to say, anybody who's doing right in a world that's so wrong, really, you're very extraordinary. You ain't ordinary. You're really extraordinary.
Yes, sir.
Those who's trying to do right in this world today, that is equivalent as the salmon. The two sons, you're gonna like this, as salmon swimming upstream. You would think ain't no way a fish can swim upstream against the current.
Yeah.
But do they?
They do.
Darn sure do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way it is trying to be right in this world. We swimming against the current. But you know what? We winning.
We winning.
I thank y'all so much for giving me. Oh, we gonna win, family. It's already predicted. It's already told. Abraham was promised this by God in Genesis. God never failed this promise. So all we got to do is be patient.
Exactly.
We may not see it in our lifetime, but trust me, the first will be last and the last will be first. And those UFOs that they call,
yes,
y'all know what we must have been saying about this since 1933. They not.
That's right.
We know exactly who they are.
That's right.
Mama said these baby planes.
Yeah. Yeah.
He said there's a plane called the mother plane. He said it's the only thing God that had made that could take out this planet. He said the only reason they have not moved on America is it ain't time. But they are there to let America know you ain't got no power. They could stop her electricity and shut everything down. And how come she have not aggressed upon America? Because on these baby planes, whether you want to believe it or not, are black folks. All right, I'm through. All right, I'm through with it. Go ahead, man.
Good deal. Good. We're ready to get on out of here, man. We're gonna go around and give everybody real quickly, man. We actually overtime. We had 10:02. So everybody take about 30 seconds. Say what you want to say in your closing. Then we're gonna get on out of here. We're gonna get somebody of the prayers out, and we're gonna call it the night. It's been a great broadcast, Captain. In your closing.
And let's stay strong. Thank y'all, brothers. I love each and every one. And please, man, don't take what I say offensive. That's a certain system of beliefs that I have been ever since I was 18 years old. I have matured a whole lot. There's some things I see a little different. And trust me, I'm trying to use a universal language where color is not even part of my conversation. It's about being a human being. That's where I'm growing to become. I'm becoming a universal child of God.
Absolutely.
And I'm getting out of these labels, titles, and all that. But God bless you, my brothers. May He keep you and your families peaceful and safe.
Absolutely. Likewise. Rodney, we're going across the bottom, then we're going to go across the top. Rodney, in your closing, sir.
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone for participating and we do have the power to control our environment, those around us. We just have to, use the power of God and the power of our influence to kind of stem back this tide that seems to be occurring. With that, gentlemen, good night and thank you a lot.
Good deal. Rico.
You can't drop the ball, man. I'm gonna tell you something. The day of a man, he working in overtime. You can see it. He working in overtime. But I feel like we went into, because I don't know if this is a cycle that happens in life, but the past 4 or 5 years, man, I have never met so many more people that I've been able to connect with and relate to, men and women, white and black, all across the board.
Yes,
that I've been able to, have some of the same connections with. It's like an awakening, a mental awakening that I'm feeling and I've been seeing. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not getting all the publicity through the media that you would think it should get. But if you're really paying attention, you're starting to hear a lot of people saying the same things that the media and the mainstream is not talking about.
Exactly.
So yeah, I do feel like we're winning, and it's gonna start grassroots. Like they said, the revolution won't be televised, but it might not even be recognized. It's gonna be here though. Exactly.
Good deal, Mr. Hicks.
Hey, yeah, I enjoyed myself tonight. I really came out of my shell. You guys did it, honestly. But I want to make one little point, right? One point. I remember we used to watch television, right? All the good guys would be good guys that wore the white hats. They wore them all the time. But somewhere along the line, like Denzel, like these things, they confuse our children because one movie he'll be a good guy, in the next movie he'll be an evil guy. This little thing I just talking about that's really, really confusing. You said act out of character. It's like, this guy just stunned you.
Yeah,
he just killed somebody. But that's part of the plan too. to confuse the children about
Absolutely.
this good guy, bad guy thing. But I enjoyed everybody tonight, and my prayer and blessings with everyone.
Absolutely, absolutely. Toussaint.
Yeah, man, I enjoyed myself. I always do. Thank you all for having me, brother. We got to stay on the winning side.
Yes, sir.
Even when it looks like we're not, we are.
Mm-hmm.
The victory is already won. Yes. Just got to stay in good standards. And if you hadn't got there, get there. Because you think about, I want to talk about one day a gentle giant. When we talk about all this violence, how about when God gets mad?
Wow.
It ain't gonna be nice.
It can be nice. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Elder.
I really enjoyed being here tonight and listening and gaining from everybody. And I thank God that we can hold the light up high over our dark world. That's our job.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good deal. Good deal. Been a great broadcast. I want to invite everybody that's listening and watching us right now. I want to invite you all to join us tomorrow. We got a show. The Morning Glow comes on Monday through Friday, but on Wednesdays, it's a real special day. On Wednesday, we actually let our hair down. All of us let our hair down on Wednesday. Now, can you imagine that? We let our hair down on Wednesday. What is it called, Rico? Yes, sir.
Way out Wednesday.
It's supposed to be way out Wednesday. Sometimes it takes us a second and we end up doing it on Thursday. We'll do it early on Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Hey, don't tell it, man. The Morning Glow is exactly. That's what it is. But man, I want you all to join us, man. And that's every day, Monday through Friday, from 7 o'clock until 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on DKM Media Group and Associates. Let me see. Let me go to Pastor Toussaint. Pastor Toussaint, will you pray us out, sir?
All right, God our Father, we come now and we just say thank you for. We don't have to do nothing but thank you for who you are, because it all lies with you. Our hope, our peace, our joy. If we would just surrender, so help us. Thank you, God, for what you've already done. Thank you for what you're doing right now. And because we walk by faith and not by sight, we thank you in advance for what you're going to do. Bless us through the night. Keep us in your care. In the name of Jesus Christ. And say amen.
Amen.
Amen. I want to thank everybody for joining us. More than that, I want to thank you for allowing Real Men Being Men and DKM Media Group and Associates for being in your night. I'm looking at something. I got a little distracted there for a minute. It is now 10:08. I want to thank you for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and Real Men Being Men for being a part of your evening. It is 10:08. You're about to exit Real Men Being Men. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us, because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple, I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug, because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great night and a better tomorrow. And we shine some blessed light for Real Men Being Men. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. It's good an opportunity. Give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great evening. Take care of each other. And please, please, please be blessed. Talk to you tomorrow morning. God say the same.